Good morning again. We were out early this morning. It was a beautiful day out here, nice and cool. We've been having some serious humidity and heat down here for a while. This is our summertime. It's also fire season. You know, when the idiots go out and get high or whatever and decide to set fire to stuff. You know, that's just the way it is down here. I always said there's two occupations in this country: getting drunk and starting fires. But that pisses everybody off. It's really not that bad, but it does get, right where we are, it does get kind of smoky this time of year. All right. We start off with this little, I don't have a lot of stories today, okay? So I'm going to start off with this one, which I think is very important. You know, Elon Musk is going to be placed in charge of, I think he said something to do with the efficiency of money, and anyhow he's basically cost cutting in the United States government and whatnot. And he made a statement on Rolling Stone magazine, and it's been repeated on major TV networks and everything else, saying that a Trump win will result in in hardships for Americans, some Americans. And what's he mean by that? Well, he's planning on cutting Social Security, Medicare, anything he can, so that his tax cut, Trump's tax cuts can go through and everything, you know, and everybody gets screwed except him and a few of his friends. You know, that's. I mean, if they let this moron in there, then you got. And he said this, and this is, I believe this to be true. He said, "I'm going to piss off a lot of people. I'm probably going to need a lot of bodyguards." I don't think there's enough people in the world to protect you if you start screwing with people that bad, because you've got all these families around here with elderly people that are being helped by Medicare and whatnot and Social Security, and you want to take that away from them. Okay, now I don't have any relatives left really in America that will do anything, you know, but I have people that are coming up to that point in time where they're going to need Medicare, and and they're friends of mine and a couple of relatives actually too. And if I was in the United States, I'd take a shot at that bastard, but I'd rather just walk up to him and beat the shit out of him, because, you know, I'm pretty sure I could take him, even though he's stronger and faster than me. He just doesn't know how to fight as dirty as me, you know. So I don't know what to say about that statement. You know, I mean, it's going to happen if Trump gets elected. That's part of the problem. You know, the loss of benefits to people. And I'll be the first to tell you: is there abuse in these programs? Yes. But the good they do far outweighs the abuse that's in the programs. But Trump, the Republicans, for some reason, look, when Reagan was president, all right, they needed to balance the budget, and everybody knows this story. And they decided to use the money, take money, borrow money, which they've never repaid, by the way, from the Social Security. Because when they looked around, Social Security was the most successful program in the United States government at that time. It had a surplus, and it was doing its job. Now, of course, you know, it's struggling to survive, and it's going to need an influx of cash, and that's one of the things that Musk doesn't need. See, because Musk doesn't need Social Security or Medicare or anything else. He doesn't even need health insurance. He's the richest man in the world. When you put somebody like that in charge who doesn't give a fuck about small people, you got a serious problem. Does he care that he's going to cause hardships? No. He says in the long run it'll be better. No, it won't. Trust me. I won't be there for the long run, but you guys will. And remember I said that. Remember I said trust me on that. He doesn't know what the harm he's going to cause. He doesn't care. Okay? What they want in the United States right now is something like, what was the movie? Rollerball, where the corporations run the world and everybody else exists in a almost subhuman situation. You know, they're the worker bees. They're not allowed to become educated. Or they use the principle Russia used to use in their communism. They would test these students, and if they had an aptitude for math, they would educate them in math. No matter if the kid hated math, didn't make any difference. You're going to be a mathematician. Didn't always work. Because you exhibit an aptitude doesn't mean you have the ability. I know that sounds strange, but it is true. I have an aptitude for geometry, but in other math, but only if applied to certain things. And I'm not going to get into what those things are, but yeah, it's like the only time I ever used it was shooting, throwing something at somebody, try to the angles, figuring out the angles where to throw something or something like that. Yeah, I'm good at that, but not much more. And here's one of the things that really, I don't know. It drives me insane. The majority of Americans think Trump's a liar. Well, if you think that, why the hell would you vote for him? Okay? Do you think Kamala's all lies too? I don't know. I don't see the statistics on that. They never put it up. Trump is people are complaining about the term fascist when it's applied to Trump. How about Nazi? Look at a history book. Well, I don't know whether you can still see it in history books, but history showed that 1926, when Hitler began his run for power, he picked an evil. Okay, an evil within the country of Germany. And in that particular case, it was the Jews, okay? Because they were, I don't know whether they were better educated, they owned most of the stores and shops around because that was their niche in life, That's what they did. That's like in America now, you have most of the shops, little stores, and anything that still exist are run by Indians. Because that's their niche in life, even though they work for AT&T and they're scholars and all this other shit. Because they understand the principle. It's cash businesses, And you avoid with cash businesses. You can avoid. It's easy to avoid taxation and whatnot. Oh, sorry. So they don't follow the normal path, but they help the country, they support the country, Trump has his immigrants. And it's funny because the ones he usually points at, the ones that are coming into this country from across the southern borders, are Latin Americans. Central Americans, Latin Americans, South Americans. This is where the Venezuelan people. Yeah, he's right about Venezuela. A lot of Venezuelans heading up there. All right, there's a lot of Venezuelans in Colombia. Where I live, 90%, probably over 95% of all the dog walkers, the professional dog walkers, are Venezuelans, and they make a good living at it. And they're very dependable. And they're very nice people, and I like them. They had to get out of Venezuela because of Maduro. Maduro is a Colombian bus driver, by the way. That's an educated leader for you. He knows what he's doing. He isn't manipulative, is he? Can he be easy? He's easily manipulated. That's the term I'm looking for, yeah. So, that Trump takes a man who is, and Musk, who's never been known to care about the little guy. The guy on the street corner, the guy that, they don't want them. They want to do it with the Department of Education. They don't want you to be educated, Okay, they want to have this. Like I said, the movie that I think gives the best example of the type of government they really want is Rollerball, where they corporations run the government. You have one representative, electronics, etc. It's, manufacturing, agriculture, whatever. Those like that would be his cabinet. They would control those populations, and then and basically you have a workers class, and that's it. There's two classes of people: those that have and those that have not, and are trying to get out, but they can't get out because they can't get educated to get out. Unless you're related, or unless you're the children of an educated or an elite, you're never going to be educated. That's the system Trump wants to put in. In other words, Barron can get an education, but even though your child might be higher educated, they can't get an education. And I don't know, they'll be playing football and baseball with robots pretty soon, so that'll take those people will have to find jobs, and they can do it, mining on other planets or whatever they plan to do to, keep this planet going. And in America, and the world is going to become a dark place, and only certain people are going to survive. And by the time this all happens, you and I are probably gone, but it's going to be the rich people are going to live off planet, and luxury is in luxury, and you're going to be working to make that possible, just as you are now. But it's you don't see, now you have the opportunity to progress. You can, even without a college education, become a boss. Well, the only way you're going to become a boss if you're working for in the future is if you want to beat the crap out of the worker, and that's Elon Musk. But I digress. I'll go back to what this majority of the American people think Trump's a liar. If he's a liar, why in the hell would you vote for him? Why is there so much support for this man? Are Americans that, I don't know a term that applies to this situation, because they think their life is so horrible. I've been bankrupt twice. I've been down to the point where I had letters of eviction from my attorney from my apartment. I was days from being evicted, and all I did was borrowed $500 from my brother and went out and and got myself back on my feet. Yeah, I wasn't too proud to borrow, and I filed bankruptcy to protect myself from everybody else. I was actually paying everything off until I got a letter. A memo was sent to me from a collection agency for AT&T that called me everything you could possibly think of, and I turned that over to my attorney, and he just laughed at it. He said, "This is, and then I went bankrupt, and screw him. I didn't pay him. American Express was the company that sent that just went absolutely batshit. They actually made the mistake of putting it in writing, which was just so stupid. The guy got fired. The company got fired from being collection representatives of American Express. And they really weren't. They bought it they bought the debt from a bank or something like that, and then they tried to collect it. They didn't really represent American Express, because I was already in bankruptcy when they tried that. They can't touch me. So, I have no idea as to why people would think that I call him a pathological liar, would make a good president. I have no idea why an egotistical prick like Elon Musk is going to make somebody good that's going to cut, is going to be the person that's going to cut the budget and balance the budget, you know. And I just saying, you know, he's right. He's going to need a lot of protection, you know. And I'm for one not going to, don't know anybody that would be willing to stand in front of that man and take a bullet. You know what I'm saying? But I guess there's people out there that'll do it. All right, I'm going to try and make sure I don't know whether it'll work out, but I'll try and make sure I watch the Kamala tonight. I did see some of this broadcast. I don't know, was it a press conference, an event that Trump did this morning? And I have to tell you, it looked like he was asleep. I mean, he had no emotion to his voice. He was monotone. He was constantly. He read everything. At least at the point that I was watching it, you know, I got tired of it because I hate it when people just read like that, you know, and make it obvious. You know, I do that. I know when I'm looking at my notes, but you know, hey, I'm not a public speaker either, so I'm not running for president. Okay, that's it for me today. I'll see you tomorrow.